Theo, welcome to the program. I want to throw it to you first here to kind of set us up. What are we looking at? What prompted you to share this news yesterday?
Yeah, so thanks for having me on, Matt. So look, I think the best place to start is with the Center for Immigration Studies. That's a nationally respected immigration group that advocates for what some people call immigration restrictionism, or what we would actually just say in common language, secure borders and an orderly legal immigration system into the United States. The Center for Immigration Studies does a lot of oversight work on Democrat presidential administrations. That's one of their big tools, is FOIAing information that otherwise is concealed either under a national security exemption or whatever cooked up excuse that the current players wanted to give to prevent the public from knowing important information, gotaways at the southern border, daily crossing numbers, or in this instance, the work on detainers and the work of law enforcement vis-a-vis ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Unit. ICE is the sub-agency at the Department of Homeland Security charged with carrying out the hard work of removing illegal aliens, including criminal illegal aliens present in the United States. So what is a detainer? Okay, a detainer is an agreement. It is a notice sent from ICE to a local law enforcement agency when that local law enforcement agency has booked an individual who is identified as not having status or citizenship papers, essentially is a foreign national or an illegal alien who is unlawfully present in the United States. That then gives a notice back to ICE that they have fingerprinted, adequately identified that individual. And then ICE, under this existing federal law, has 48 hours to come and collect that individual. The local law enforcement authority is to keep that individual, the criminal illegal alien, in their facilities for 48 hours, and then to provide notice to ICE if they decide to release that prisoner in advance of that 48-hour window. Local law enforcement is compensated and reimbursed for the charges of the costs of keeping the illegal alien in their facilities. So it's not free, but local law enforcement agencies are reimbursed, and this works fairly effectively when there's good communication between the feds and local law enforcement agencies. So in 2020, there's been some miscommunication and some misapprehension about the dates here. In 2020, ICE was required under new federal regulations to keep a monthly running count of what jurisdictions in the country are complying with ICE detainers and which ones are not. And a lot of this grew out of work that I and others like Stephen Miller did in the Trump White House in trying to figure out a way to get around sanctuary jurisdictions like California, who essentially said, we're not going to comply with federal immigration law. And moreover, we're not even going to ask the essential questions to identify whether someone is an illegal alien and if they have committed a crime in our jurisdiction. So we asked that ICE keep a running tally every month, that the report be published and then updated every month to show what jurisdictions are compliant and which ones aren't. There's two designations in the report. Non-cooperative means that you were releasing illegal aliens in advance of that 48 hours. You were not keeping them for the full duration, and you did not provide notice to ICE that you were going to release those individuals. The other is limited cooperation, which is you did not keep them for the full 48-hour duration, but you notified ICE and said, look, we're not going to keep them any longer for whatever reason. We don't have the resources, the capacity, the manpower. It's a nonviolent offense, so we're just releasing. Whatever the reason might be, you notify ICE, but you still release them. My interest in this report, as I've said in various places, is I think there is a growing awareness by a lot of American citizens, and especially here in Idaho, that you can affix a label to any kind of policy position. So you can say, with broad strokes, Idaho is a state that refuses sanctuary jurisdictions. We're not California. But the rubber hits the road in the actual application of policy in determining whether or not you're holding criminal illegal aliens with sufficient time and with sufficient notification for ICE, which has the responsibility. They're the only agency that has a responsibility for removing those criminal aliens and sending them back to their countries of origin. So you can call yourself a sanctuary-free state, but what's going on on the local ground? And look, and I think the other important part of this is as people make their decisions about what candidate to support in the 2024 election, how they feel about their policies on immigration, it's obvious where the Democrats have sort of stated their ground on this, which is they're not going to be doing ICE detainer work. They don't believe in deportations. They don't believe in removals. And the Trump campaign has been very clear that they believe that there is a time and now a need for mass deportations. Well, how do you facilitate mass deportations? Part of that equation includes state and local law enforcement and their ability to secure criminal illegal aliens and ensure that they're available for federal agents to remove. Last thing I'll just say very quickly, Matt, is look, like there's been a lot of conversation in Idaho over the last few months about whether Idaho is okay with illegal alien labor, whether we should have unaccompanied minor children in our schools. Let's just be clear about one thing here. This report isn't based on data over unaccompanied minor children showing up at a high school or middle school without sufficient documentation to prove their status. It's not that category. It's not the category that they've done workforce enforcement raids and arrested folks who were at dairies or on farms. It's not that category of illegal alien either. These are illegal aliens who have broken the law, who have committed crimes in Idaho, and who have been arrested and booked into local county jail facilities. And then those facilities are not keeping them long enough for ICE agents to come and collect them. That's who we're talking about, and that's the circumstance that needs to be thoroughly vetted. And as you noted at the top of this segment, the question needs to be asked of these local law enforcement agencies: why are you on the report? Not that the report is fake, not that the report has a different timeline. The data is from June of 2024, and the question needs to be asked: if Idaho is a sanctuary-free state, why are you listed as not being cooperative with federal immigration enforcement authorities?